we will come back to new agents and guests because I want to respect our friend's time over here. Eric Sachs, good friend of mine, amazing person in the industry, very connected of what's going on. Eric had his own very successful company, real estate company, up in Fort Collins many years ago, sold it back around 2010, and then created Breakthrough Broker. I'm sure he'll tell you just a little bit about Breakthrough Broker, but it's a very unique business concept and building tools for agents and giving to you guys for free. He had title companies and sponsors help pay for this company and deliver these tools to you guys, and we've done a pretty good job of using Breakthrough Broker thanks to Jim First American. And then Equity said, you know what, I really like this, and we want this to be our system. And that is what your marketing system is. Equity, Breakthrough Broker went together, built the marketing center in the back end so we can make it more customized. And they've kind of changed their whole business model. It's not just now having title companies do this. They have several real estate companies throughout the nation that are using their system in the back end and then allowing the companies to customize it. And we've got some cool things that, again, Eric's going to talk about. But what I brought Eric here for today is because he does go throughout the nation and he's speaking at all these conferences and he's not working for a real estate company, therefore he can be more neutral and he can hear what's going on. He might be at an equity meeting or a RE/MAX meeting or a title company offering, and he's seeing the business models out there, he's seeing what types of offerings are happening, and he's got a good pulse on what's going on. And we keep hearing about Zillow offers and Open Door and these other disruptors that we keep saying disruptors. I don't like the word disruptors. They're just business models. We have a business model, everyone has a business model, and that means we have to be able to adjust to business. And this business has always been about value, but it's ever more so about value and how do you portray that, convey that, show that to your customers and clients out there to continue enjoying what we do and serving people. So Eric is here to enlighten us on what he is seeing out there in the market. So big round of applause for Eric. Is this working? Can you hear me? I prefer to yell and scream, but we'll just use this thing. Stand by 1 second. All right, cool. Well, hi everybody. Who have I met in here and who have I not met in here? Raise your hand. Who have I met? Who have I not met? Raise your hand high. All right, good. Wow, I don't know most of this room. And then those of you that were on camera, hello. All right, my name is Eric Sachs. I'm the co-founder of BreakthroughBroker.com, and so I think it's important to know who's up here. Todd already said that I owned a brokerage, and before that I had a top producing team. I was selling a lot of homes, love what I did. And before that, who has a 4-year degree from a major university on how to sell houses? Anybody in here? Right? So we all had past lives. I like to share my past life. It was kind of fun. I chased bad guys for 13 years with Fort Collins Police Department. I was a detective for 7 of those years. I went back to the street to train rookies. And when you own a home in Fort Collins, like $1 million home, it is a prerequisite to leave a back door open when you go on vacation. Don't know why. And when you're training rookies, you get burglar alarms all night long. Like every burglar alarm they send the rookie cars to. So, kind of interesting. So I was doing first phase training. These are cops right out of academy. So we'd go to the burglar alarm and no bad guy, and then where would I be? I'd be in the kitchen checking out the granite and the backsplash. My rookies thought I was crazy. I'm like, come look at this. It's great. I love the way they mesh the backsplash with the granite. And then anyone get into this business because their first realtor totally sucked? Come on, be honest, everybody. So I had a bad first-time home buyer experience. I loved houses. Like, I can do this. And for me, it was kind of easy. I doubled my top salary my first year as a part-time realtor. My second year, I was approaching more than that. So my best friend was at Keller Williams. He just happened to be in real estate, and I was like, let's leave that company. Let's open our own company, and we did. We grew it. We built. We sold it. I left cop work. We built Breakthrough Broker. The idea was to grow this to the largest interactive resource for realtors in the world. Kind of grandiose, but we did it. We're approaching 400,000 realtors using Breakthrough Broker. It is the most used interactive resource in North America right now.
and we're running marketing for some of the largest firms in the country. I say that because I get to do this. This is so cool. Typically, I have to get on an airplane, but my daughter goes to Cherry Creek High School, and I live 2 blocks from here. Okay? So I could have walked here today instead of getting on a plane. So this is nice. Thanks for inviting me. And I do get to see the industry, I like to say from 30,000 feet. I get to talk with mega teams who sell 600 transactions a year. I get to talk with rookies. I get to talk to everyone in between. So we're going to talk about something today that I think we need to be aware of. And I want it to be interactive. So most of you don't know me, so some of you have never been in my class. So I want these ladies to know I'll pick on you the whole time. Just kidding. I'll pick on everyone back. I want it to be interactive. Are you guys okay with that? And just something you should know, when you train cops, if you don't say a bad word in the first 4 minutes, you lose all credibility. So if it slips out, don't yell at Todd. I don't work for you guys. You can send a complaint for my language to breakthroughbroker.com, and I'll do what I do with all my language complaints, and we'll move on. Okay? You guys okay with that? I'll try hard not to say a bad word. I can't promise it won't come out. So who in here has been in the industry 5 years or less? Raise your hand. Okay, so a lot of new people. Who in here have been in the industry 5 years or longer? Raise your hand. Those of you that have been in this industry 5 years or longer, how often have you heard disruptors? Raise your hand high. So you've heard it all the time. Oh my gosh, Tree Lord is coming to the market. We're dead. I almost said a bad word. Oh my gosh, for sale by owner. We sell homes. You've dealt with this forever, right? So help you sell, assist to sell, discount program. So we've dealt with this basically since the beginning of time. So for you veterans, you might be a little weary of the disruption. Okay? For those of you who are new, 5 years or younger, you live in this world, so you don't know anything different, which is awesome. But what I will tell you, and I am an eternal optimist, like my business partner will tell me, I see good, even coming from the police department for 13 years, in everything. I'm always looking on the bright side. But I will tell you this. Our industry, now more than ever, faces pressures that we have never faced before, ever. Okay? Ever. And history in other industries has proven that those pressures, if not acted upon, will crush us. I will say, for a fact, a couple predictions, if you're mediocre in your skill set, you'll be out of this business in 5 years. Sorry, I'm just bringing you the bad news. The only real estate agents that are going to survive in this business starting now, 5 years from now, will be agents who accept the fact that we have to step it up a lot. The skill set, the dialogue, what we do, how we market, and our value proposition has to change. And I'll tell you what else. Our commissions are coming down, period. So you're going to have to sell more to make the amount of money that you want to make. Accept it now. Stop fighting it. Start marketing yourselves better, okay? We're going to talk about all this today. So those of you that have been in the industry for a while, please don't say I've heard this before, because I feel the pressure on our industry like it's never come before. So who's heard of this company before? Those younger people in here are like, what the heck is that? My kids. So my son is graduating high school this year, and he got accepted to a dance program in New York City on Broadway. So we can't go away. If realtors go away, how do I pay for my kid to go to college in New York City? Right? So let's make sure we kick some ass. Did you guys used to go rent movies from them? Like, I remember going to Blockbuster with my kids, and it was like pulling teeth to get them to pick their movie. And then by the time they chose their movie, it was out. So it was like a 50-minute experience. I hated Blockbuster. And then I would forget all the time to bring it back. They were brilliant, right? They preyed on our laziness. And they made all their money on late fees, right? So Blockbuster was awesome. They had like 3,000 stores in America. They were on almost every corner. We went there all the time, right? You remember that. So back in 2000, the year 2000, this little company came along. You ever heard of them? Okay. Netflix was floundering. And they went to Blockbuster and said, hey, we have an idea. We can't really get there right now. We'd like you to buy us for $20 million. $20 million. For Blockbuster, $20 million is like 50 cents to us right now, at the time. Crazy, right? And Blockbuster said, no thanks, we're good. We don't think you're going to do much at all. Have a nice day. How did that work for Blockbuster? Do you see much Blockbuster now? At all? And Netflix? Do you have anyone have a teenager? Yes? I want to let you know that Netflix now is the largest media company in the world. Blockbuster could have bought them for $50 million. And when I wrote this class, Netflix is worth $152 billion with a B, dollars. 50 million, 152 million, out of business, really in business. Blockbuster felt the pressure and didn't acknowledge it, okay? Do you know why they didn't acknowledge it? Because they had felt the pressure forever. They felt the Help You Sells. They felt the Treloras. And they never were hurt by it. So Netflix came along and they said, never going to happen to us. We have felt the pressure before. Just like realtors for 100 years have felt the pressure. Okay? So they ignored it and they were gone. Okay? Now, yeah, do you remember seeing those? Who has ridden in one of those in the last year? Raise your hand, don't be ashamed. I had to once in New York City in the last year. And I remembered why I hate them so much and I love Uber so much. It was stinky, it was dirty, he was rude. It sucked. The taxi industry saw this coming for years and they never acted on it. The taxi industry saw this coming when Uber first started and it got so much usage. The taxi industry with all their money could have, they're run by the mafia, they could have gone and built the best app in the whole world, but they didn't. So Uber is slowly closing the taxi industry down in the world, not in the United States, the world. My wife's from Costa Rica, and in San Jose, Costa Rica, they're fighting in the streets, physically fighting. Taxi drivers are attacking Uber drivers in the streets. It's like a real problem. Okay? Craziness, right? So, did you guys ever read that? Anyone ever read that? Can you imagine reading that now? Like, my dad still reads the Denver Post. I'm like, you're the only person in all of Denver that gets this delivered. What are you doing? So, they saw this coming for years. Craigslist single-handedly closed newspaper industry in America. Okay, right? How did the newspapers make their money? On the classified ads. Do you guys remember looking for cars? When I was turned 16 and my dad and I were looking for cars, I'd highlight, circle, and highlight. I'd look for jobs and pets in the Denver Post and the Rocky Mountain News. You wouldn't, I don't even think they have it now. I don't think there's a classified section. I haven't picked up a paper in 10 years, but I don't think there's classified ads anymore.
Ask
So,
your dad.
what?
Ask your dad.
I'll go check it out. He's got them sitting. He's got this pile sitting. He brings them out once a week. Oh, piles. So there's us. Okay? There's us. And here is the pressure that's coming in. Open Door has about $700 million in liquid assets. $700 million in liquid assets. Can we compete with that? Like personally, we can't. I can't compete with $700. $700 million? Zillow, right? They have investor backing in Silicon Valley and they have money at their disposal. So here's the deal. These guys have a ton of money and they want to go direct to consumer. So I want to know if you guys know, what is an iBuyer? Somebody explain it to me. Go.
It's very simple. When you go on and you may look at your house, Zillow will say if you're interested in selling us your house, click a button.
Okay, so it's yes. So that's a good definition. To get a little deeper, more technical, it's basically an institutional company, a company with a lot of money, that buys homes directly from the seller without a real estate agent. Period. And what I really want you to know, because most agents that haven't paid attention to this think it's a fix and flip. And they say to me, oh, Eric, fix and flip operations have been around for years. This is not fix and flip. Period. They're actually buying homes at market value, at the same price you could sell a home. Okay? And they are leveraging an algorithm to set a fair market price, and they can close in days. Now, they're touting easy, seamless transaction. They're not, if you look at all of the marketing, I drive into work every day. I live here. Our office is in Reno. So, like, by the way, I travel all over the country, and Denver should be totally ashamed of themselves. Our traffic is LA style now, right? We're the largest city in the world with 2 highways. It's the stupidest thing ever. Sorry, it's a little soapbox. So I drive forever into Reno, and I drive home forever, home from Reno, and I hear Open Door on the radio station advertising like 4 times on my way in, right? And I hear Open Door advertising 4 times on the way home. And I see television commercials for Zillow offers. They're going straight to the consumer. They don't need you or want you involved. And they're touting easy, seamless transactions. Now think about it. I was talking to Todd. Todd said, isn't it expensive? We're going to talk about that. It is expensive. Can you hear me in back? It is expensive. But how many things do you do in your life on a daily basis that are more expensive than an alternative because it's easier? I travel every week. I could fly with connections much cheaper than I can fly nonstop. But what do? I pay more because nonstop is way easier and super comfortable, easy, quick, right? What else do? We pay for things all the time. We don't search for gas prices that are cheaper. We go to the closest gas station. The human mind is conditioned to go the easy route, period. They're banking on the fact that this is DNA in our head, that if they can advertise, you never have to show your home. You don't even have to stage it or get it ready. We don't care. Declutter, don't even think about it. You don't have to grab your kids and your dog for a showing ever. As a matter of fact, we'll close tomorrow, which gives you the opportunity to go look for whatever you want to buy. And we'll rent it back to you for as long as you want until you find a new home. How difficult, unless we're ready, is that to compete with? I'm here to tell you we have to be ready to compete with that at a listing presentation, and we're going to talk about a way to do it. Fair enough? Yeah. It sounds good even to me, and I'm in real estate. So my partner, we have a third partner in Breakthrough Broker, and he lives in Dallas. He's a rock star. He's a tech guy in the industry. And he's like, I want to test this stuff out. This can't be real life. Can't be real life. So he calls us back and he said, guys, we're dead. Why? He's like, they gave me a really good offer on my home and said we could close tomorrow. It is not a fix and flip. So those of you that are ignoring this, We shouldn't. Okay? I have good news, don't worry. I'm not all doom and gloom today. I have pretty good news.
Yeah.
They have huge financial backing. They tout these things, okay? We're going to talk about this, okay? The instant offer, tough to compete with. Quick close, tough to compete with. No showing hassle, super convenient. The certainty of a cash offer, kind of nice, right? And control over when to move. It doesn't get any better than that, right? So we really have to see what's coming, and we gotta learn a skill set to combat it. Those naysayers that say this will never happen, look, realtors are not going to go away because of this. Just the mediocre ones. Sorry. They're going to not, they won't do 6 million. On average, there's 6 million home sales a year in America. Okay? On average. I'll say that again, there's 6 million home sales in America. So let's say they just take 1 million. They took 8% market share in 18 months in Phoenix. That's a lot of market share, believe it or not, in 18 months. Okay? It's in Denver, it's in Dallas, it's in Phoenix, it's in Las Vegas, it's in Miami, it's in Houston. It's coming. Okay? So if they come in and take 8% market share, again, the good news is realtors are not going away. We'll always be here. The good ones will always be here. What happens is that if you're only selling 10 or 12 homes a year and you lose a $10,000 commission, what does that do to you personally? So they're not going to sell all homes. Maybe they'll sell 1 million of the 6 million, which leaves 5 million for us, right? But we're going to lose, one of us, 10 of us in this room will lose a commission to this. Nathan, my business partner, his wife lost a listing to Open Door in Windsor, Colorado. Okay? So that was $10,000 out of their family. Now, she sells a lot of homes, so it didn't kill her, but some of us it would really kill, right? So if you're better than mediocre, you'll be fine with this. We're not going away. All right? So here's what we are going to practice today. It's not if, but when you show up at a lifelong client's house. They bought a home, sold a home, bought a home, had you work with their parents to move here. They love you. They invite you to barbecues and dinner, and you're going to go over to their house, and they're going to say, you know, I really appreciate you coming over, and we love you, Eric. You're the best realtor in the world, but I really think we're going to try this Open Door thing out. I hope you don't hate us. What do you say? Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? Yeah, F you, I'm out. Right? I'm here so that at least everyone in this room is ready for that. Fair enough? And that's what we're going to work on for the next 15 minutes. It will happen, and someone's going to say, hey, I know I told you a month ago that I needed you to sell my home, but I just got a cool offer from Zillow. I hope you don't hate me. Be ready. Practice your script. Know what you're going to say. Say it confidently, and you'll win. So let's jump into it, okay, guys? Any questions about iBuyers and where we're headed, any of that stuff? You with me? First and foremost, this comes with any argument in your whole life, but don't come from a negative place. Never be negative. Don't say, oh, those guys are terrible. You have no idea what they do. They hide. They paid Yelp to hide all of the Yelps. Can you believe that? What a terrible company. We're actually going to use that later, but you don't start with that. Did you guys know that? They paid off Yelp? It was a big scandal. Oh yeah, crazy. Yeah, go to Yelp and try to look up Open Door and try to find a bad review. Pretty interesting. So, do not come from a negative place. Oh man. So Eric, I hope you don't hate me. I really think we're going to try this Open Door. We might even see if what Zillow offers gives me. I'd say, Steve, Sarah, I totally understand the Open Door model. I think it's a super interesting idea. And absolutely, in certain situations, selling your home to a company like Open Door might be helpful. What did you do with this script? You accepted their thought process. In any argument, remember what I did before? What did I do before I was a cop? I was a detective. And when you're a detective, you get to go to really cool schools on how to get people to tell you what they did wrong. It's called a confession. So, and I work child crimes, and so with all child crimes, you got to get a confession to, to prosecute. So, you're just validating their thought process. Anytime anyone ever comes to you in their life, this will help in your marriages. I totally understand what you're thinking. It's actually a great idea. They're like, oh, cool. He's acknowledging my thought right now. But you don't use the word but. You say, I totally understand. Open Door is a super interesting concept. And in some cases, I think it could be super helpful. I would like to say it may be important to consider some options as you look into a sale with Open Door. It may be important to consider some options as you consider a sale with Open Door. So now you accepted or validated what they had said, and you're bringing in your viewpoint right here, okay? May be important to consider some options. Well, what would those be, Eric? Well, when you sell a home to an iBuyer like Open Door or Zillow offers, you take the possibility of selling in an open market off the table. What's an open market? Can you guys explain this to me?
Multiple offers.
Multiple offers, negotiations, maybe more higher offers, more money. That's why you have a multiple listing service, right? To market a home to the public so that you get interest in that home and you sell it for the highest price. So you say, well, one thing you might want to consider is when you sell a home to a company like Open Door or Zillow, which I agree might be a really good option in some cases, but I would like you to know you take the option of an open market sale off the table. Well, what do you mean? Well, by listing your home to the public, it creates the opportunity for multiple buyer interest, which could drive the price up, resulting in a higher price for your home and more net profit for you. Reasonable, right? Now, here's the problem with a reasonable argument. We're not logical beings as humans. We are emotional. So we're fighting this ease of use thing that's really hard. So that's the next, okay? That's the next step. So in an iBuyer transaction, you're doing business with $1 billion company that only wants to make a profit. So we're still being logical, but now we're using a fear tactic, okay? So in a nice way, we're trying to scare our client into not using them. So you validate, oh man, that's a great business idea. I love what they're doing. And in some aspects, I think it could be great. Like for my investors, my fix and flippers, I think that might be a great idea. But you've lived in this home for 20 years, and I don't know. You're taking the option of an open market sale off the table, and I know they're saying it's super easy, but I make this super easy with my concierge team, so you don't have to worry about easiness. I have this concierge team I'll tell you about in a second. And in reality, what really scares me is that you're doing business by yourself with $1 billion company. That's kind of scary. And once you start with them, I can't help you out at all. So do you see where we're headed with this conversation?
Yeah.
You validate, you give them alternative options, and then you scare them a little. Okay? All alone. You're working against $1 billion company all alone. I don't know about you, but I'm not sure I want to do that. Okay, and remember, you're their trusted advisor. So Effective representation can be the difference between making or losing some money on the sale of your home. Now, I understand you're validating again that the idea of not showing your home ever and like selling it tomorrow is amazing. But this isn't buying a car. Like, I get it. If you sell your car and maybe you sell it for $500 or $1,000 less than you wanted to make for it, but this is your house. So can you really stomach selling it for $15,000 to $20,000 less? Because I'm going to show you in a second why. Because it's easy. So now you got to get good at this, guys. You got to practice this dialogue. But are you following me? Yeah. Okay. Your single best offense, the open door and Zillow offers, is your net sheet. You can do it on your own with your My First Am app if you don't have it. Make sure you get it before you leave from Jill. If not, Jill has a team that can create these for you. But here's what you do. The offer that Open Door sends or Zillow sends is a net sheet. It's a net sheet. When you create your net sheet and their net sheet, there will be a huge difference. And I'll tell you why. Okay? We're going to go, I don't want to show those yet. What is that? Oh, I got to go back. So let's talk about this. This is, I don't have visuals. When Open Door makes an offer, they give you an offer, and then they have a service fee. Wait till you get this. Their average service fee is 10%. 10%. Time out. 10% is their service fee. Then they give you a price for fixes. Sometimes it's $10,000. It's the biggest complaint, actually, that we've heard on Open Door. Now, Zillow Offers saw this, and they say, we'll take it as is. So we're fighting Zillow a little more on this. Zillow figured this out. Open Door has a 10% service fee for ease of use, instant offer, and then they charge you thousands of dollars for fixes. They do a drive-by inspection. Literally. Pop in, pop out, and they'll say $10,000 for fixes. So 10% plus $10,000. It's a lot of money to sell your home with convenience. So you can argue, look, you're going to make $15,000 more. I'm not going to come down to my commission because my job is really important. I have a lot of years in this. We're going to get the highest price in the shortest amount of time. And Open Door is saying the average days on market is 120 days. What are our average days on market here? Okay. So you're going to dispel all of that, okay? You're going to dispel all of that. Sorry, guys. My kids are at home just like you. So I'm just making sure this phone isn't my teenage kids messing around. So, do you see where this net sheet can really benefit you? You have to know these things about their offer, all right? You have to know it. Any questions so far about this? Go.
Does Zillow also have the service fee, or is that strictly Open Door?
Oh no, Zillow has a service fee.
They do have 10%?
Yeah, it's like 7 to 10%.
Okay.
Just on a side note, there is a one in our neighborhood that's sold to Open Door, and you can do your own tour through it. You just call this number and they give you.
It's crazy, dude. Yeah. I'm sorry, not dude, but dudes. It's crazy.
So I went in, and their fix-it is not at all quality fix-it. Like, none of the paint colors match.
Sure.
There's like nails coming through the wall still. I mean, they don't fix it very well.
No, it's really poor.
Is there a max price for Open Door? I thought Zillow was like, they won't buy anything over $600,000.
Yeah, but
Same.
no, actually Open Door has the max of $650, and Zillow right now I haven't heard of a max yet. So Zillow hasn't published the max. For those of you that do luxury and anything over $650, you don't have to worry about it for now. Although Quicken Loans opened up a purchasing division, they're buying homes. Keller Williams is buying homes. What?
Redfin's doing it.
Redfin?
Amazon. And they're doing the handyman fix too.
Right, so, yes, I've heard that too. So, it's coming. We just have to have the skill set to fight it, right? So, use your net sheets to walk in before, okay? I know, I gave this class in Phoenix and I had a realtor stand up and say, I love this. I said, what do you mean? I say, I call all my sellers and I tell them that, I tell my sellers to call Open Door and get an offer. I'm heading it off at the pass. So they're getting an offer from an Open Door and he's going in and just crushing Open Door every time. And so you can leverage it in a couple different ways. I also know some people that are using it for listing presentations, saying, hey, I'm going to list your home and I can actually bring you an offer today. If you bring Open Door a home, they'll pay you. I believe it's 1%, it kind of sucks. But typically, they'll bring the offer and the consumer will be like, oh no, I'm gonna make more money with you. So if you're driving that, sometimes deciding your strategy is really important, okay? Fair enough? So know the business, understand what they're doing. The other thing I would say in my dialogue is this. You are taking away the ability for an open market sale. You're also taking away the ability for me to negotiate inspections, right? That could be the difference of $7,000. So you can't let that happen. You have to let me represent you. Fair enough? Are you fine? Are you okay with this trajectory of conversation? And then you can go negative on that. At this point, you can go a little negative and say, listen, I just want to bring this up to you, by the way. Yelp hides review pages for Open Door and OfferPad. Right out of Inman News. Yelp hides review pages. I didn't write that. That's actually out of an Inman News article. And you just put that in your listing presentation. Why in the world would a billion-dollar company pay for another billion-dollar company to hide reviews? Obviously, there's been some bad reviews. And you wouldn't want a nightmare selling your largest asset in your world, would you? Right? Open-ended question. There's more here. I can send these out to everybody too, so they have them. This Open Door seller, I did find a review in Orlando that said, my husband and I have just ceased working with Open Door in the past week, and it just goes on and on and on. Right off the bat, they give us a lowball offer, and then at the end of this whole tirade, it says at the bottom, use a trusted realtor. That's how long that tirade was about Open Door. So, the whole idea for me being here is to start a thought process in your head, to practice a scripted dialogue, so that you're so dialed in and confident, not if, but when, a seller says, oh, I love you so much and you've done so much good for our family, but we really think this Open Doors for us. And then boom, oh, you know, I think it's a great model, super interesting to me. And in some cases it might really work. I think you might want to consider some options when deciding to go to Open Door. And then you remember silence is a salesperson's best friend? You're all in sales, right? Yes?
Yes.
If you say consultant on your business card, throw them out. You're not consultants. You're selling what? Time out. Yes. Who just said selling houses? All right.
No.
All those of you that said you're selling houses, I'm sorry. Zillow's doing that for you. You guys are not selling houses. Okay? You're not selling houses. You're selling yourself. Okay? First and foremost, if you don't have I'm on another soapbox. If you don't have a buyer or seller to work for, what does all else matter? So what's your first priority as a realtor? Sell yourself. Go find people to work for. Then you can be a great tactical realtor, that's fine. But first and foremost, you gotta find people to work with. So the best realtors in the world are the ones that know how to find people to work with, period. After that, it's all, you can learn all that. Fair enough? So you have to sell yourself. So you have to be ready to combat this with really good dialogue. I call it verbal judo. And if you practice this enough in your head while you're driving, it may not happen for 11 months. And it's gonna happen and you're gonna be licking your chops. You're gonna go, ooh, Eric helped me with this and I know exactly what to say. Okay? So I want you guys to retain your commissions. I want you all to make more money. I have some exciting news for you. Starting on Friday, hopefully, we finally, all right, is there any board members from RE Colorado in here? Raise your hand. Okay, good. We finally finished working with the hardest MLS in all of America. Literally your MLS. Wait, time out. By far. And there's 800 MLSs. On Friday, when you load a listing to your MLS, we're going to make 10 marketing items for you in your Equity Marketing Center instantaneously.
Wow.
We're going to pull the image, we're going to pull the description, the bedrooms and bathrooms, and you're going to be able to have an Instagram post already done, Facebook post already done, open house flyer already done. You do have to go in and tweak it a little bit because the big description that you guys put on the MLS doesn't quite fit really nicely on a postcard. So go in and tweak the description. We pull all the images from the MLS. So if you don't like the photos we pulled, click the MLS photo button and swap them around, and you're done. Do you guys also know we have a farming tool in there? So you can either get your farm list from Jill, or you can click on the just listed postcard, open up your farm list, draw a circle around the neighborhood, and we'll print, stamp, label, and mail next day. Right out from your system. Okay, guys? So it's all in there. It's done. You should thank your representatives at RE Colorado for finally getting this done, or not. And but I think you guys are going to like it. It's its first rendition. I think we're going to improve the content inside the marketing center. We're going to let you guys play with it. We're going to let it happen. We're going to let you see how it works. You're going to see a tab in My Marketing on your Equity Marketing Center that says Saved AMP. We actually saved them for you forever. So you can go back and get an open house flyer, whatever you need for a past listing. And I hope you love it. Bear with us. Maybe there will be a bug or two. It's technology, so don't get frustrated if it doesn't work great for the first couple weeks. But it'll be pretty awesome. So any other questions for me, what I see in the industry, what I get to deal with on a weekly basis, anything about Breakthrough Broker? I'm here to ask the question now. And if not, have a great meeting.
When you're customizing the items on Breakthrough Broker where you're going to put your name, your logo, etc., your system does not allow logos with letters in it. So our logo is lettered,
Yeah.
and we can't put it in.
So you should be using your Equity Marketing Center and not Breakthrough Broker.
But it is through that.
No, we can do it Breakthrough Broker, but not through the equity side.
Well, if there's any equity bugs, we need to know about it because it should be working perfectly. The logo that's in the equity site is only the logo that ownership gave us.
Yeah, it's equity, but we'd like to put ours with it too, and we.
Yeah. So the design wasn't made that way. So you'd have to go back to Todd and we'll fix it, but it has to go through these guys first. Okay. Fair enough. What else, guys? What other questions? Anything? I hope you found this helpful, and thanks for having me. I always love coming.